Good evening. My name is Ambrosia Johnston, and I would like to welcome you tonight to John Jay Science and Engineering Academy ACE 2019 project Sunset Siesta. I will be presenting the architecture portion of this project. Currently, our lot is located here in downtown San Antonio on the intersection of North St. Mary Street and East Martin Street. Our lot currently features two historic buildings that feature Baroque architecture. One is made into a hotel and the other is designed into a cafe. Along with the site, we have a garden plaza, and all of this is located on top of a two-story underground parking garage. Getting into our floor plans of the cafe, our cafe features a delivery area, a storage area, along with men and women's restrooms. Of course, we have the barista counter, which features plenty of seating, which can be shown from this spot here, looking at the barista counter, as well as all the seating. Going into the second level of our cafe, we have, again, another set of women and men's restrooms, additional storage area, and even more seating, which gives the opportunity to look down at the open below area, which can be seen in this shot right here. Of course, introducing into our hotel, we have the first floor lobby, which features, of course, the concierge desk, the back of house storage, and, of course, the lobby, which will lead into the reception area. Leading after the reception area, we of course have the breakfast dining hall, which is run every morning by our warming kitchen. Across from the warming kitchen, we have both men and women's one-stall restrooms. And of course, to help facilitate the elevators, we have a mechanical room, which double purposes as a storage room. Getting into the actual floor plans and rooms of our hotels, on L levels from 2 to 8, we have 6 bedrooms, while one bedroom features 2 beds. Getting into levels 9 and 10, we have 5 bedrooms, for 2 of the bedrooms combined into a larger suite. I will also be presenting the landscape architecture portion of this project. Our site features, after you exit from either the cafe or the hotel, you will enter into a garden plaza. There's an area dedicated to food trucks for additional food, and of course a picnic area for dining. Featuring along with these picnic areas, we have gardens and fountains all around, and all of this leads up to a large music venue and stage to encourage community liveliness. And of course, as mentioned earlier, all this is on top of a 2-story underground garage. I will now pass this on to our structural engineering team.
Hello, I'm Cassandra Cantu, and I represent the structural engineering aspect of the project. So there are 3 types of loads, dead, live, and dynamic. And on this project, we focused on dead loads, which are fixed, and live loads, which move or can be moved. Because we were using existing buildings, there were some constraints that we had to work around, such as the size and the placement of the columns, as well as the fact that since we are repurposing these buildings, the loads that it's going to be sustaining now are different from the loads it was previously designed for. So as a structural engineering team, it is our job that any changes the architects make to the interior of the building are structurally sound. So floor height was not so much a change as a bit of a misinformation. We were originally under the impression that the building was, the cafe building, for example, was 10 feet and 10 feet, making that 20. But it was actually 30 feet, the entirety of the building, which means that in the open to below area, the columns would have to sustain a load at 30 feet long, uninterrupted. So we had to redo some calculations, and at the end of that, we found we would have to reinforce the columns in that area by adding 2 inches of extra material to ensure they can sustain the load without buckling. And I will now hand this over to the electrical engineering team.
Hello, I'm Garrett Rivera, and I'll be representing the electrical engineering portion of the project. So this is an electrical load analysis chart, and basically the purpose of this is to find the spare capacities of the main distribution panels of the buildings and the transformer spare capacities. The reason why we have to find these is because if the transformers go over this percentage, then they will fail, and that will in turn lead to no electricity in the building. So basically how this chart works is on the bottom left, we input the square footage of each floor, and that goes into the rest of the chart and eventually comes down to give us our spare capacities. So for the cafe, our spare capacity for the main distribution panel was 38%. Our spare capacity for the transformer was 20%. For the hotel, our distribution panel spare capacity was 22%, and our transformer spare capacity was 22% as well. For our distribution panel spare capacity for the parking garage, it was 35%, and our transformer spare capacity was 36%. So we collaborated with the architectural group for the decorative options. And so we came up with this fan design and these over-the-mirror lights designed for inside the bathroom. For the hotel and the cafe, we decided to use these bucket lights and these box lights, and that basically gives it a more elegant look. All of these light bulbs will be LED, so it'll take up less electricity and produce more light than average light bulbs. I'll be now transferring to the civil engineering team.
Hello, my name is Leila Ayala. I'll be representing the civil engineering team. Shown here is the site plan of the entire site showing the two-story garage along with the water pipelines and sewer pipelines. In the grading plan, it shows, we had to think about what would happen if there was ever, let's say, a lot of rain going on. Therefore, we created these inlets shown through the red. And when the water were to go down, it would go down to the reinforcement concrete pipe, or also known as RCP, and it would go into the storm water pump. Now, the storm water pump inside will basically give the excess water to the pump right here, and it will basically push out all the water to the San Antonio River. The drainage plan shown here shows Area 1 and Area 2. Area 1 and Area 2 are different because of the topography shown. Therefore, Area 2 tends to be more steep, while Area 1 also holds a lot of rain. The drainage area chart shown here for Area 1 and Area 2 being different is basically the runoff that it gives. Since the Area 1 of runoff is technically more, Area 2 for the area tends to be more steep, therefore that's why we put these inlets in there. I will now pass this on to construction.
Hello, my name is Megan Brown, and I will be presenting the construction portion of the project. We'll start off with the logistics plan here. The flow of traffic will begin on Convent Street and enter the lot. And then here in the blue, we have the employee parking right near the entrance for easy access. And then on the other side, we have in the white the construction trailer where I will be able to easily oversee the rest of the lot as well as any traffic entering. Proceeding to the center of the lot where construction will take place, we have materials drop-off and concrete pouring. Here in the green, up near the trailer, the two small squares you see are porta potties. And then near the bottom of the lot, we have the construction dumpster located near the exit onto East Martin Street for easy removal of excess material. For our project schedule, here in the red, we have phase 1, which is site work, and that includes everything preparing the site for construction, such as excavation and making sure we have all of the existing buildings ready for renovation. In the yellow, we have phase 2, the parking garage, and then phase 3A in the blue is the hotel building, and phase 3B is the cafe building. As you can see, phases 2 and 3 are concurrent, which cuts down a lot of construction time. In the purple, we have our closeout, which is where we put all the finishing touches on the construction. And because phases 2 and 3 are concurrent, we are able to cut down a lot of construction time, as I said, bringing the entire time for the project just under 2 years at 21 months. Our preliminary budget estimate, using only the square footage information that we had provided from the architects, came in at $15,650,712.93. However, after receiving more detailed information from the architects, we were able to estimate the total cost of the entire project at $18,796,820.94. I will now pass the presentation on to Ambrosia for closing remarks.
I would like to take this time to acknowledge the help that we receive from all of our mentors and, of course, the ACE Mentor Program of San Antonio. I will now open this time to any feedback and any questions.
All right, fantastic job, John Jay. All right. After a presentation like that, you should, at the end, you should just drop the mic. There should be no questions. They covered everything. Don't worry about the panel up at top. I know their names. Lisa, you want to give us some comments?
Impressive. You guys are ready to get hired, right? Because this is amazing detail work of what you guys did. The only thing I am missing is the story on the siesta. What is behind the siesta?
Sunset Siesta, we really wanted to bring a community involvement into it. Thank you. And so with the Garden Plaza and of course the music venues and the gardens and the eating area, we really wanted to bring a more lively sense to it. And so, you know, fun and the San Antonio charm that we came with it, we came up with the name of Sunset Siesta to kind of play on that alliteration.
Good, thanks.
Outstanding job. I really appreciated the conciseness of your presentation, your calculations, and the way that you work together, passing on basically the baton, the presentation to one another. And I really applaud you for having done such a nice job.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good presentation. I like the graphics, the use of color and graphics to help explain the plans and explain kind of how you're flowing through the presentation. And I thought that 2 or 3 of you said collaboration with architect, collaboration with this and that. So, and that's what the ACE is all about. So I thought that was really, really, really good. And that, you know, just the diagram, you must have really good mentors because it was very specific on you know, the construction schedules and the civil and the architecture, you know, just very well one presentation. Thank you.
Fantastic, really fantastic. You did very well in your articulation and how you presented the whole project. I really enjoy the structural part when you talk about the static and how you compute the dead load. You're breaking down 3 courses that are very important in engineering, and it's static, dynamics, and mechanics of solids. And that's basically what you do there in order to compute that. And in the stormwater part, I really enjoy that you slow the runoff. I would have loved to see also a cleaning up of the runoff with some low impact development before we get the water to the river. But in general, it was fantastic. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, panel. And thank you, John Jay.